The Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race number 1 is now in front of us at Knockhill Racing Circuit for the final fling, and Robbie Dalgleish is on pole position from Michael Weddle and Ian Munro third with Mark Geraghty in fourth. Covey Jr. is fifth with Cameron Bryant in sixth. Now what you can see on the screen in front of us is a very, very wet Knockhill, and the car's getting led around behind the safety car. Yeah, tricky conditions for everybody, and in qualifying, well, the usual suspects all at the front, but another big bumper grid of Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup cars here. Hannah Chapman, though, right at the back. Look at that, 22nd on the grid for number 8, Hannah Chapman. Not good at all. So it's going to be a rolling start, purely through safety with the amount of rain that we have here. And as they come in towards the hairpin, you can see them all coming through. And thankfully, everybody's survived the 2 pace laps. And they've all got themselves bunched up quite well behind Robbie Dalgleish, the man who is odds-on favourite for this championship as they come up over the crest of the hill. We're racing here at Knockhill. Lights, well, some of them have lights, some of them don't have lights, but wipers very much well and truly on for everybody in the mini grid. As they go over the crest of the hill, the spray from these cars is quite bad actually. These Yokohama tyres definitely cutting through the water, but Robbie Dalgleish comes through Duffus and McIntyre's area. Ian Walsh doesn't come through Duffus at all, does he? That's Ian Walsh, and trying to get off the grass and back onto the track. Tricky conditions in there. Vic Covey going very wide as well at exit chicane. And was that Ian Bonthron also joining him in the gravel trap? They're running a little bit wide. They should rejoin. And get away with that quite easy actually. Get back on the circuit just before the entrance to Clark's. One thing though, if you do end up going too wide into the gravel there on the grass, you're on the grass all the way up the back straight, and you can lose a whole handful of positions. But it's Dalgleish and Weddle leading in towards the hairpin. That is Craig Blake, and he's going up the inside of Cameron Bryant, and he's made that move work and stick. Come on. Good move by Craig there, covering the inside line pretty well, and a lot of standing water on the inside line. Just holding my breath there because you can see a few moves happening further down, and that's Hannah Chapman there just sliding up the inside. Hannah not making the progress that she would want, and unfortunately well out of position after qualifying. But the leaders come in towards McIntyre's is Dalgleish and Weddle, and as they come through there, Michael Weddle, he's had a pretty sensational season. He's been there or thereabouts all the way in the flippy bollard debris, already lying over the circuit at the chicane there, the black circle chicane. Marshall's not wanting to run to the circuit and retrieve any bollards. I really don't blame them, to tell you the truth. And that exit curb at the chicane, it's looking pretty slippery there, and if you come through the chicane carrying a bit too much speed, before you know it, you're wide over the curb and then into that gravel trap, as we saw Covey Jr. and we also saw Bonthron doing that on the very first lap of asking. Up towards Clark Corner they go. They're already coming in towards the hairpin, and it's getting quite strung out now for a mini race. 2 leaders very close together, but after that Ian Munro kind of on his own in a little bit of no man's land, which is quite strange for Ian Munro. He's usually a very busy man. He's usually got a lot of cars around him. And then Vic Covey comes through with Craig Blake et al. All chasing on. Mark Geraghty not in our shot yet, but starting to string together some pretty good laps is Gez. So I'm pretty sure he's going to feature quite quickly, coming up behind Cameron Bryant now, the white 27 car. The next car is former series champion Mark Geraghty. And what can he do? Can he make some hay where the sun shines? Well, not really the day for that, is it? Although even with this horrible weather we've got here at Knockhill Racing Circuit today, it's countrywide, I should say that. We have still got some good spectators in, a lot of people in to watch the race meeting, because it is the SMRC final fling race meeting, and it all comes down to this. Championships all to be decided and settled today. As they come through Clark Corner, look at the spray getting kicked up now, it's very bad. And oh dear, that's Des Wheatley into the gravel at the exit of McIntyre's. He's run wide at McIntyre's, and you just can't get back on the track now. If he gets up there, I will be very impressed. Oh, Des. No, unfortunately there, just run out of grip in the Mini. As good as those Yokohama tyres are on track, when you go onto the grass, and it has been raining for what feels like a month now, there's a fair saturated bit of mud across there. So unfortunately, Des, no further for him. That car, unless the marshals can be superhuman and push that up the hill, we'll soon find out. Yellow flags are still waving, double waved yellow flags there from the marshals, who are braving the elements. And in comes Ian Munro, Vic Covey Jr, Craig Blake comes through the shot. Then it's Cameron Bryant, still ahead of Mark Geraghty, who came in quite hot there. And a fabulous showing from Ashley Morris just now, ahead of Ian Bonthrown. Then Josh Hislop, young man in the DSR Mini, just off the back of Ian Bonthrown in the Bonthrown Security Services car. As they come through Clark Corner now. Is Vic Covey starting to catch? Is he actually starting to catch Ian Munro? We'll have to keep our eye on that. And the number 77 car, fabulous showing from Ashley Morris. And she sits in there just now, quite happy, picking up some good points. And also steering her way towards what looks like it could be a top 5, top 6 finish just now. Robbie Dalgleish now starting to edge ahead just a little bit. He's starting to put a bit of a gap between himself and the chasing Weddle. And yeah, those three for 3rd, 4th and 5th all catching up. And look at Mark Geraghty, he's now onto the boot lid of Cameron Bryant, although the yellow flags still wave at the top of Duffus, a single one at the top of Duffus and double waved yellows at turn 3 McIntyres, which will mean Des Wheatley is still halfway up the chicane hill in the mud, one would imagine. As we see everybody coming through, Geraghty managed to, it looks like things, slide past on the main straight there, and he's ahead of Cameron Bryant now as we go through Butchers and up towards that tricky chicane. These weather conditions not great for these guys. The race started, well, what time was it? Just after 11 o'clock, and it hasn't stopped raining since we all arrived at the circuit first thing this morning. And the marshals from the SMRC and the SMMC doing a great job of managing to get themselves on post and get the meeting going. Oh, somebody exited stage left there, going through Clark Corner. And we've also got a car facing the wrong way in the infield of the hairpin. Now, if you can spot that from where you're sitting, I will be impressed. It could be John McGladrigan. That is a long shot from the commentary box window, though, as that's not a nice place to be sitting. Safety car has been deployed. And Michael Weddle actually off screen has got ahead of Robbie Dalgleish, so that's something that we haven't seen happen. So Weddle now leads the race from Dalgleish. This will be interesting. That's where Weddle needs to be. What Robbie Dalgleish doesn't need is that yellow number 23 car jammed up behind him, because Ian Munro will not need a second invitation. He will try and go through any tiny little gap, and he really doesn't care about anybody else's championship. Michael Weddle, on the other hand, he needs to win this race, and he needs to win it well. As we see the safety car pulls down the tri-oval, we will be racing the next time the cars come through the hairpin. And here we go, into the hairpin they come. That's Craig Blake, followed by Mark Geraghty. But Weddle and Dalgleish at the front, a bit of a gap behind Robbie Dalgleish. Ian Munro's been caught napping just that little bit there, and that has released a little bit of pressure straight away for Robbie Dalgleish as they come up the main straight. People will be ducking out to try and see where they're going more than anything, because the weather conditions, look at the balls of spray there, plumes of spray as they come underneath that Beatson's Budding Supply Bridge. Half the cars we can't even see on screen, and that was Ian Bonthrown. That's a brave manoeuvre. Can he make it stick? He goes round the outside of Cameron Bryant. Brilliant manoeuvre from Bonthrown. He'll be sitting in his car extremely happy with that one. Happy the car stuck to the tarmac, and he could also see where he was going. Cracking stuff in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. Race number 1 here at Knockhill Racing Circuit, and again the top two have pulled away as they go up the back straight. Ashley Morris dips a few wheels into the gravel, and that will hurt her as she goes in towards Clark's. Bound to lose a little bit of time and places there as we come up. Josh Hislop has got ahead, and Daniel Patterson very much behind her now, looking at the rear bumper of that number 77 car. And there's another David Slade car which goes through just at the very back. Plumes of spray again. Michael Weddle. Now, is he playing games with Robbie Dalgleish here, trying to keep Dalgleish out that little bit wide there to try and let the pursuing pack catch up? But Dalgleish has got half a car alongside. He powers past. Weddle's in trouble. Disaster for Weddle. He's in trouble now. Did he just miss a gear, or has he got water in the works? Because there's a fair bit lying about just now. That puts Covey second, Munro third, Geraghty and Blake side by side as they went out of our screen there. And that's Cameron Bryant just now. But what happened to Michael Weddle? Is he still going, or has he stopped? They come through noise at the back of Mark Geraghty, just ahead of a very, very sideways and flamboyant Ian Bonthrown. So Weddle's still going, but something happened on the main straight there. Whether that was, well, we don't know, do we? It could be as easy a thing as missing a gear, but that's a disaster for him. That puts Robbie Dalgleish, promotes him back into the lead. and it's giving him very much the driving seat for the championship now as they come through and up the back straight towards Clarkson. Through Clarkson, they're now heading into the hairpin. Vic Covey Jr. finds himself in a pretty good second place ahead of Ian Munro. Covey will be happy with that. He'll be delighted. He wouldn't be expecting that. And I don't think anybody would have been expecting Michael Weddle to suddenly veer left on the main straight and get passed by what was 5 cars. Dalgleish, Vic Covey Jr., Ian Munro, Craig Blake, Mark Geraghty. There's Weddle ahead of Bon Throne with Cameron Bryant, and that's Ashley Morris side by side there as we went over the crest of the hill with Josh Hislop. Daniel Patterson in the middle of that. Neil Methven, we should give Neil a shout, going very well in race number 1 just now. Neil obviously a bit of a wet weather specialist and enjoys these shall we say tricky weather conditions that we have here at Knockhill. Dalgleish though comes through the chicane, heads up the back straight, and all sorts of wheel spinning noises in the background we could hear there. People getting a bit sideways and having to bury their foot in the accelerator pedal. Things have kind of spaced out a little bit there in that group. As we see a very sideways Ashley Morris. Well, Ashley, you made that look pretty good there, I've got to say. Like that big sideways moment coming through Clark's, and then keep your foot in it and try and stay on the track and keep going towards the hairpin. Jordan Brown as well, very sideways as Dalgleish comes up. It's another checker flag for the man in the 91 car. Dalgleish wins from Vic Covey Jr. ahead of Ian Munro, Mark Geraghty, and Craig Blake rounds out the top 5. Great stuff for Blake. Weddle, Bunthorne, Bryant, Methven inside the top 10, and Joshua Hislop in 10th. Let's hand down to Fiona for some post-race interviews now.
Well done, Robbie. You were pushing hard in that race, so hard. You had a half spin coming through the chicane, but you kept it going.
Yeah, I came out the chicane, just was going straight on, so I basically just stopped the car, made sure I stayed on the tarmac. Even if Michael had won that race, I still had a nice comfy lead, so that was a drive round and don't go off basically. Unfortunately for him, he had a problem guessing at the exit of the hairpin, so not sure what it was, but no one likes to see that, so hopefully he's back out in the second race, got it sorted and we can have another good race. It's treacherous out there, but I only need one more point now, so I can kind of have a bit more fun. But no, it's been a great year, so really chuffed.
Good, so the pressure's off now, you can just go out and just enjoy the last 2 races of the season.
Well, yeah, it sounds easy just needing a point, so
anything can happen in the minis.
Exactly, aye. But no, over the moon. All my sponsors are here. I think there's 35 people here today, so all the guys from Evolution BPS are up, so just like to thank them for the year. Been with us all year last year as well, so wouldn't be doing it without them.
Good, well I wish you best of luck for the rest of the day and I'm sure I'll see you again.
Fingers crossed, cheers.
Thanks, Robbie.
Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race number 2 action. Some onboard footage from Gordon Long as he starts in the mid-pack, but it's Robbie Dalgleish, Vic Covey, Ian Munro and Mark Geraghty, the front 2 rows of the grid. And up ahead, the championship battle is very much well and truly up for grabs. Robbie Dalgleish can win the championship in this race number 2 for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race. But if you've ever wanted to be a racing driver and you fancy it, remember sometimes it does rain. Now just imagine you're sitting in the mid-pack, it's your first race, it's not Gordon Long's first race, but this is what you're faced with. Not just a mini in front of you, or a wall of minis, you've got a wall of spray as well. You've got to try and navigate your way through the spray, and you've also got to keep on the racetrack, and you've got to remember, Gordon Long has somebody on his back bumper as well, chasing him up towards Clark's. These tricky conditions really make the cream rise to the top. He's chasing David Keen there. David getting a little bit keen and exuberant, running wide. You can see the mud coming back onto the windscreen of Gordon Long's car there as Gordon pulls out in the spray, and he can see absolutely nothing as he comes in towards the hairpin. Pick a braking marker and then try and get it sorted out. Very tricky conditions throughout the day. The conditions deteriorated for everybody as the day went on, and the lack of visibility was not just for the drivers, it was for the marshals and the poor spectators who stayed on to watch some fabulous racing trackside at Knockhill. Robbie Dalgleish, so as we say, was going for the championship. He was in a battle with Michael Weddle and Vic Covey. That would be the top 3 of the championship, and after this race it would be all sorted out. And ultimately, Robbie Dalgleish would come away with the 2019 Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup Championship. It's been a fabulous year for Robbie Dalgleish. He spent a long time getting to this position. 5 long, hard years of struggling in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup, but now Robbie Dalgleish can hold his head high, and all he has to do is go down south and win the national championship, and that will be a gentleman's set for mini racing. And can he win the Sunoco Challenge? Can Robbie Dalgleish find himself across at Daytona? We will find out. There was a car in the grass at the apex of Clark's. That was young Ashley Morris, caught out by the slippery conditions. They see the win went to Robbie Dalgleish from Michael Weddle and Vic Covey Jr. A fabulous day's racing. Neil Methven with the top 6 finish, he'll be happy with that. Ian Bond thrown down in 8th, won't be too happy with that one. And Hannah Chapman finds herself out of character, out of sorts and position, down in 12th. But never mind, we will hand down to Fiona in the post-race area for some interviews with the drivers.
So Robbie Dalgleish, you are our 2019 Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup champion. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's proper ecstatic. Like, it's been 5 years in the making, really. The first 2 years were the learning years, and the last 3 have just been so close, pipped to the wire every time. So now, glad to get over the line. So happy with that.
And you missed a round this year as well, so it must make it even sweeter.
Yeah, it's the same as last year. Missed a round last year, missed a round this year, just with the 2 championships gliding. So yeah, that makes it even nicer. So yeah, as I said, that's job 1 of 3 done. We're leading the British Championships. We need to go down and try get that one done in 2 weeks at Snetterton, and then try win the Sunoco Challenge as well. I'd like to go to Daytona. That sounds pretty good for a freebie. So yeah, fingers crossed for the rest of the season for me.
You like a challenge anyway, so the pressure's off now for race 3. If you've got any plans just to go out and enjoy it, or are you going to try and get 3 wins out of 3? Yeah,
well, they told me to go out that time and just like let them go and be sensible, but when you try lift off and stuff, that's when problems happen. So no, I'm going for the win.
Good. Well, you are our champion, so congratulations.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Vic Covey, P3, you suit these wet conditions, don't you?
Yeah, they're quite good for the heavier fellow. No, and it was a good race. I got a great start, which is very rare, and I was leading, but I threw it off ball my own out the back. Robbie got me, and then Michael was just quicker, so I thought I'll let him go. I'm only really battling my mark in my championship, so let Michael go and just try to go with him, and then just made a mess of the last lap, which let everyone catch me back up, so it made it interesting through the hairpin.
So P2 is still up for grabs. Are you going to let Michael have it, or are you going to just...
P2 is no longer up for grabs. Michael's got P2 wrapped up. I'm too far back from Michael, so it's all P3 or nothing, really.
Oh well, best of luck for race 3. And where do you start race 3?
P3, I think, so should be good.
Same position.
Same position, good fun. Cheers, Fiona.
Michael Wedder, you are a runner-up for this year. It's not where you wanted to finish, but you've just not had the luck on your side.
No, luck's definitely not been our strong foot this time. We were leading the first race, everything was going well. It looks like the pack was catching up to me and Robbie, and then the gearbox let go, and then I fell back, and then so that kind of made it nearly impossible. But no, well done to Robbie there. He's done well, so we'll take second place.
You had a great recovery drive there.
Oh, it was good fun. 62nd, and whatever Vic's saying about trying to let me go, he definitely didn't. He was defending for all he was worth, and then obviously the better one got through. So.
And race 3 should be interesting. Last one of the year, everyone's just going to be going for it.
Yeah, it's Mini's last race of the year, 3rd race of the season, nothing on the line. It's going to be probably.
Well, it should be a good one to watch. Well done, Michael.
Thank you.
Hannah, nice to see you back and back up on the podium. Conditions aren't easy out there today, are they?
No, I mean, first things first, visibility, there is none. It is really tough out there. I actually found myself kind of dropping back a bit just to get a view of what's going on. But the most important thing for me is that I stayed on the black stuff, because last time out it really didn't go to plan. So I broke down in qualifying, so started at the back, worked my way up to 14 in race 1. I think I finished 12th there, not too sure, but either way I'm moving forward and I'm finishing the races, so I'm happy with that.
And how's it going down south?
Down south's going a lot better. The pace is there. I was leading a race last weekend at Donington. It was going so well, I didn't put a foot wrong. Unfortunately, I was taken out of the lead. But I rejoined, got fastest lap in the process, trying to catch back up again, and then ended up not finishing the race down to another incident. So good and bad. But we'll get there. I'm enjoying it now. So not that I wasn't before, but it is all coming together now.
Good. Well, it's nice to see you doing well.
Thank you.
So Neil, you are battling with Ian Bonthrown, and is it the fight is still on for that title, for the newcomers champion?
I think Ian's just secured it there, but there's still another trophy up for grabs, so that's what I'm going to go for.
And how are you finding conditions out there today?
I'm loving it. I really like the wet. ALM's put a brilliant setup on the car, so just hopefully more of the same for race 3.
I think race 3 is going to be an interesting one. Last one of the season, all the mini drivers just like to go for it.
Aye, exactly. We've got plenty of time to fix the cars after it.
Exactly.
Good.
Carnage, here we come.
Yeah, aye. Hopefully, no.
Perfect, thanks Neil.
Cheers.
Race number 3 for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. Not just race number 3, the last race of the year for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. Guys and girls, Joshua Hislop is our onboard camera right now as we look through towards a slightly better set of weather conditions. But ultimately, once the cars get going, the spray will once again be there, and it will be very tricky for all the drivers to see where they're going and what they're doing. Just ahead, car 27, Cameron Bryant in the white car, and you can see Craig Blake bobbing up and down on that handbrake. And away they go, heading towards Duffus Dip for the first time of asking Ian Walsh against the pit wall in white number 19. Walsh, he's had a great season coming in towards the minis, and really he's finding his feet. Will he stay for a second year? We will find out, but look at the spray for everybody trying to navigate their way through these tricky conditions. And Joshua Hislop, another welcome addition. He's driving the DSR Davis Lee Racing car. Little thump up the rear, and who was that? Giving a little tap into the rear there. That was Wheatley, number 4. Just giving a little love tap. Des Wheatley, welcome back to the championship. Des, great having you here. And great almost seeing you leap off the road in front of us here. Great car control from Des as he goes up the back straight. Joshua Hislop won't be terribly happy about what he just saw and had happened to him there. But let's recap what happened in race number 2. It was Robbie Dalgleish who took the championship honours and the wins. He won the first race of the day, and well, could he win the second race? He did. Will he win the third race? Let's find out in this one. It was all chaos though. It was chaos in the mid-pack. It was cars going left, right and centre. As Josh Hislop still looks at the back of Des Wheatley, we caught a glimpse of Chappers on the outside. She's showing Joshua Hislop her front wheel. Now she's showing him her side door, and she's trying to get past, but the car just doesn't have the straight line speed for young Chappers. And the mini with the pink flashes. Hislop, what can he do? Is he going to be brave on Wheatley here? We know Wheatley's not shy of bravado, but over the apex goes Josh Hislop, and he made that look pretty good from where we were sitting. He now sets his sights ahead towards Walsh, who is sideways, and Bryant, who chases Walsh. 2 white cars down through Butchers and over the chicane. Ahead though, there was all things happening further up the road. It was starting to get to a proper tricky mini final. Drivers were making the manoeuvres for the last race in the year. Some were sticking, some were very much not sticking. Vic Covey after that first race though said that he let Michael Weddle go. Vic Covey was very much after third in the championship, trying to make sure he could keep third from a very hard charging Mark Geraghty, who could steal third away from Vic in the last race of the year. Behind Mark Geraghty in the championship, Ian Munro. Well, Munro had nothing to lose. He's been in the position before that Robbie Dalgleish has found himself in, and Ian unfortunately has never actually taken that championship on the very final time. Ian Munro battling for third place, 4th and 5th in the championship. Craig Blake and Ian Bonthrone. Ian Bonthrone would take the newcomers class championship and 7th overall in the series. Fabulous stuff for him. And the next newcomer was Neil Methvin, who got himself inside the top 10 of the championship overall. Methvin will be pretty happy with that one though. Drivers not finishing in the third race of the day. Well, yeah, Robbie Dalgleish unfortunately not able to finish the third race of the day. That did Craig Blake, did he? No, Craig Blake didn't involved in an incident with Ian Walsh on the start line, and that was a bit of a shame for him. Both cars sustaining quite a bit of damage, much to the annoyance of Walsh. He was caught out by a lot of spray, and ultimately Walsh getting disqualified from the final results. So you see Joshua Hislop now getting alongside Cameron Bryant, but unable to go past there because, why would that be? The safety car come out, because we did see a car lying in the gravel trap down at McIntyre's. Because that car was at McIntyre's, it was in a place that wasn't deemed as being safe. The big shock with the car lying in the gravel at McIntyre's was that it was the man who won the championship, the 2019 champion, unfortunately taken out by no fault of his own for a car coming through, and then we drive past the incident that caught Craig Blake out, so you can see the damage to Blake's car, and things just went horribly wrong in that final. But it was Ian Munro who took the victory. A delighted Ian Munro from Mark Geraghty, and Michael Weddle coming home in third place. Fourth place saw Vic Covey, Ira Cameron Bryan, Ian Bonthrone, Des Wheatley, Josh Hislop in 8th position, Daniel Patterson a good night, and Chappers got herself into 10th. Let's head down to Fiona.
Michael Weddle, third place finish, fastest lap. That was a dramatic race to say the least.
Yeah, it looked like it kind of kicked off a little bit behind, so hopefully everyone's alright first off. Actually, it looked like there was a couple of big hits, especially Craig. Robbie had a big hit as well, it looked like someone came across, so hopefully everyone's alright. But by the sounds of it, everyone is. Well, that's the first thing, main thing. But apart from that, it was a good race. Some good scraps, me and Ian were a good race there. He put me off in the restart, which I probably deserved, and then I was gunning for it on the last lap to try, but it kind of backfired, and then Mark got me in the line, so it was good fun.
I think it was a 3-car battle for second place at one point.
I'm sure it was half the field at one point. It was just chaos, but no, really happy with that. It was good fun. Really enjoyed it.
Will we see you again next year?
Probably, yeah, definitely.
We'll look forward to seeing you again next year,
Thank you.
Michael.
Cheers.
Ian Munro, race 3 winner, signing off your season in style.
Yeah, I know. Could have started that way, couldn't I? Would have helped. But no, good race.
Good battle with Michael as
well.
well.
Two races pretty much. I felt I did it twice. It was close both times. First time I went round outside the mark, and then the second time Michael tried to go round outside me, and I'm like, I know it's possible, you're not doing it.
He said after the restart you kind of put him off because he deserved it.
He was in the wrong place. He put us on the outside. He had it coming.
Exactly. What are your plans for 2020?
Back again. Yep.
You're going to try and go for the championship?
Start this way, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? A few less problems would be good, so yeah.
Good to see you back. I think you do deserve a championship.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Cheers.
Thanks, Ian.
Cheers.
Second place, Mark. You seem a bit disappointed with that.
I am, because I'm bowing out. I don't know when I'll be back. So I'm kind of chuffed in a way, because at one point I was down to 4th and then battling with Vic, and then we stopped for obviously the incident. No good to see people, but good to see potentially injured, but I believe they're all right, so it's good to hear that. But no, I was saying to Vic there with the window down, just please let me have a podium for my last race. You've guaranteed pretty much 3rd place in the championship. Just let me have this podium. But it worked out better and got a place up to 2nd. It wasn't a win, but good to bow out on the podium. So
it's a good way to sign off your motorsport career for now.
It's just there's other priorities, work and houses and older people stuff. So people like Weddle and Robbie and that don't really think about these things so far. So I'll probably end up being like what Vic's doing, end up having a child, taking a break, and then come back again because I can't stay away. So no, I just obviously like to thank especially Bonthron Security Services. It's good to see him. I had to kind of lean a little bit on the gravel there next to kind of get that podium, but I can only thank him enough for helping me out and all the other sponsors that have helped me out to get me out this season. It wasn't a championship win like 2017, but to get quite a number of trophies, and I think either 4th or 5th in the championship. But bow out in that, and I'll be on the sidelines.
You're a big character, and I can say that you're going to be missing this championship, so it's been a pleasure to have you, Mark.
Thank
and best
you.
wishes
and
for the future.
Hopefully see you out in a car next year.
We'll see.
No problem, thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers.
Hannah Chapman, good way to finish off your season, and that was an interesting race to say the least.
Yeah, there was lots happening in that one. It's sad to see cars obviously not finishing with a lot of damage, so I hope all the guys are okay. Again, I've just kept it on the road. There wasn't really much skill involved there on my part. I was off the pace and I had to defend like there was no tomorrow. I mean, Ashley was catching me pretty quickly, but because of the red flag halfway through, we only had 4 laps to go, so it was a bit of on my part, a bit of a sprint. So I made it. I managed to keep Ashley behind me, and no, it was good. It's just good to have 3 clean races for me and finish, so no damage.
And Lady Luck hasn't always been on your side, has she?
No, Lady Luck is not my friend, but I'm hoping that she maybe likes me a bit more for next season. We're really hoping for a good year next year. So
are we going to see you back here in Scotland?
That's the plan. We're going to do what Robbie did this year, so we're going to do the national minis, but then as much of the Scottish as we can, so hopefully some more good racing and keep up the sharp end.
Good, well, wish you best luck for 2020.
Thank you.
So Cameron, you're that tall, had to stand up here. How tall are you actually?
6'4".
Wow. So you've just finished top newcomer in that race. How's the season been for you?
I mean, this weekend's been great. The whole season's been a bit of a struggle. Obviously, first race we had a nightmare, car wasn't ready and stuff like that, and then ran out of money. But thankfully, thanks to East Coast Tyres, we got back out for the last 4 rounds of the season, and it's been just a bit of a learning curve, but definitely the last round today, it's been good. I think we've shown what we can really do, so it was good.
And it's not been easy conditions out there, but obviously the wet suits you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've only driven in the wet a couple of times before, but I really felt it was quite daunting driving to the track this morning, seeing all the flooding. And the first race was the grip level wasn't that bad. It's the visibility that's shocking, down the main straight. So that was a real struggle. But quite fun, quite good, and you learn a lot in these conditions as well. So definitely a valuable experience.
We're going to see you back in 2020?
Yep, I'll be back. Don't know what doing yet. Maybe even back in the Mini, and we'll see. But yeah, definitely enjoyed racing in the Minis this year, so it's been good.
Good, well congratulations once again and have a good winter.
Thank you very much, you too.
So 2019 Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup Championship has come to an end. It's been a dramatic season. We've got our champion, Robbie Dalgleish. Join us again in 2020 for some more action-packed racing.